Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my views on the role of laser in the era of anti-VEGF for treatment of DMEs. क्यों भाई आगे क्यों बढ़ाती? Therapeutic retinal photocoagulation has been practiced for more than 50 years, but ETDR was the first randomized trial which concluded that laser therapy reduced the relative risk of vision loss by 50%. And the focal and grid laser photocoagulation has been the mainstay for the treatment of DME. These are the first patient which we normally see in our practice, do a laser, stabilize the disease, and you get a good results. Another patient which has been undergone a focal laser, the disease has been stabilized. This is another patient with diffuse diabetic macular edema. Even after macular grid 4 year, when we see the follow-up, patient is stabilized, no recurrence of the disease. Since ETDRS time, for almost 2.5 decades, laser remained the treatment of choice for DME. But in about a decade, intravitreal anti-VEGF has become the popular, and its safety, efficacy, superiority over the laser has been demonstrated in the various clinical trials. And nowadays, anti-VEGF is considered as the first line of therapy in diabetic disease. The advantage with the anti-VEGF, they are easy to administer and they provide rapid improvement in the vision. But there are certain limitations with the anti-VEGF, is they are not perfect, they are far from perfect, they are short acting, require repeated injections, and they are expensive. And with every injection there is a risk of endophthalmitis and stroke is always there. And in real world, we clinicians tend to under inject compared to the randomized control trials. So question comes, does the laser has role in the era of pharmacotherapy? Let's see how literature says about it. Almost all literature they demonstrate in the first group that non-central involved macular edema laser is the choice of treatment. There is another group of DME where we are having a central involved macular edema, but patient is having a very good vision. In a recently protocol DRCR protocol V has demonstrated there is no significant difference in outcome after 2 years in all 3 groups. And almost 3 to 4 patients in the laser group and 2/3 of observation group does not require injections. The next group is central involved macular edema with vision loss. In this group, definitely intravitreal pharmacotherapy is the first line of the treatment, but laser can be used at the adjuvant treatment to reduce the burden of the intravitreal injection, as was demonstrated in RAID 2 trial. In protocol T trial also, 36 to 39% of the patient in each treatment group has a focal or grid laser before the injection, and more than 50% patient require additional focal or grid laser during the first year of study itself. In RESTORE trial, found that the patient with the retinal thickness less than 300 micron, laser and ranibizumab therapy had the similar visual outcome. But what the lasers we are using nowadays, they are the thermal lasers and they are having complications like decreased vision, enlargement of the laser scar, choroidal neovascularization, central and paracentral scotomas. To overcome this problem, we are having a newer laser. One of them is the micropulse laser therapy, in which laser energy is delivered for a short duration. We are having an on time and off time like we are having a phaco. So in this off time, the tissue recovered from the thermal effect of the lasers. These micropulse lasers, retinal damage are almost absent and it cannot be seen even using the FFA, autofluorescence or ONOCT. But there are certain limitations with the micropulse laser because in the absence of visible endpoint, it is difficult to titrate the treatment. If retreatment is required, we can treat the same area and there is no treatment protocol available. There is another laser available nowadays, it's a Nevilas laser which incorporate retinal eye tracking and align laser treatment map with the real-time fundus image, and it allows accurate laser treatment to the micronism and it prevents the inadvertent placement of the laser burn. We don't have an exposure. This is a photograph from the literature in which the OCT image has been kept over the fundus image, and the laser is targeted. And this is the pre-laser and post-laser OCTs. So to summarize, laser can be considered as the first line of therapy in non-central involving macular edema, central involved macular edema with good vision, patient with recent stroke or MI where steroids are contraindicated, and patient who decline for the intravitreal injections. Laser can be used as the second line of therapy in patients who are non-responding or poor responding to anti-VEGF or steroids, or adjuvant therapy to anti-VEGF in the central DME with compromised vision to reduce burden of anti-VEGF. To conclude, macular photocoagulation is the treatment of choice in non-central macular edema. In central involved macular edema, by applying laser, we can reduce the burden of intravitreal pharmacotherapy. Subthreshold micropulse laser definitely helps in the reducing the complication of conventional thermal laser, and newer laser like OCT-based navigated laser are showing promising result and will play an important role in the management of DME in combination of pharmacotherapy. Thank you. Thank you so much for kind
Thank you. Little bit change in the schedule, and we take apology from Dr. Rajesh because we'll adjusting. Dr. Samil Seth, he has to speak on the other hall also. He will be speaking on optimizing treatment